Welcome everyone to Game Scoop Thursdays, where you have your choice between waffle cone or sugar cone. I'm Alex O'Connor. Joining me here today, first up, is Mr. Jeremy Jones.
Hi there! How are you?
Also here is Terence Thompson.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
And as usual, Miss Jamie Dodd is here.
Hello, everyone.
And rejoining us from way back in episode 4 is the one and only Mr. Dr. Professor Robert Logan Clark.
Or it's so easy.
So,
Are you a doctor or are you a professor?
he's a Mr. Dr. Professor.
Oh, dude. Wow, congrats.
He's got all the degrees.
Can we start talking about ice cream now?
We've got
Yeah,
ice
and
cream on the line.
we're going to start having little, social media tags for all the episodes. So this one is hashtag saved for the podcast, as per Terence.
I think we might do
So-
hashtag sugar cone.
I don't like that. It should be hashtag scoop.
Hashtag. I wonder what that hashtags with.
All I do, I scoop from the bottom of the bowl straight to my mouth.
Well, we are the tastiest podcast out there.
We are
Hashtag,
the basics. Our
hashtag,
website says so.
hashtag empty bowl.
All right, so on the show today, we've got a couple things to talk to you about, some stuff happening with the website and with GST overall.
Yes.
Then we have a couple short discussion topics, and then we also only have two main subjects to talk about, which were extremely condensed due to the fact that one of them revolved completely around a certain person who shall not be named, Jordan,
Cough, cough.
who,
Won't be joining
we
us
have
today
no
because
idea
he's
what happened
ignoring
to him.
all of our texts.
well, he did move, so maybe stuff's not set up
there's
correctly,
that.
but I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Big
Oh,
Shot
yeah,
California will not be joining us here today. Hopefully he will be back next week to talk about the thing that we need him to talk about. Anyway, so that's the rundown. And what we're playing, I didn't really play anything. I mean, I think I played like 10 minutes of Destiny, and I was playing some... Actually, I've been going through the Halo game, well, some of the Halo multiplayer maps for an article I'm writing for the website. And today I've just been playing some Halo 4. So anyway, Jeremy, what have you been playing?
Let's see. A little bit of Destiny, a little bit of Alien Isolation as well. Tons of fun. Terrifying, grueling, kind of infuriating, but I think in a good way. That's pretty much it.
Jamie, you played Isolation as well, right?
I did, and I only almost peed myself twice.
Dude, high
That's
five.
it?
Seriously.
I know, only twice. So, I think that's pretty good, considering that Alien is freaking terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Terrence, you played anything?
Yeah, right now, man, I'm still on the Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I actually got a little bit more time to put in. Did I say Brawl? I'm losing my mind. Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS, and I finally got some time to put back in on Hyrule Warriors finally. So I've been
Cool.
putting. Yeah, finally. But mainly though, just the Super Smash Brothers on the 3DS. That's been my main gaming apparatus lately. That's been my that game is perfection to me.
And Logan, do you play anything?
I've been mostly playing Titanfall and Destiny. More Destiny than Titanfall, just because there's a little bit more stuff to do in Destiny, and I can usually get away with avoiding multiplayer in Destiny. That's something you can do in Titanfall because it is completely multiplayer.
Yeah, no, I know how infuriating the Crucible can get.
Isn't that what you're doing right now, or something of that sort?
Yes, and because I hate myself, I'm playing the Iron Banner right now, actually. Because, I don't...
Because bounties.
Because bounties... hate myself, so...
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So first thing that we want to talk about is a little something we're doing, which is a giveaway. So,
Oh, right, yes!
yeah, since Jeremy, since this is near and dear to your own heart with the
Yes.
giveaway, take the lead on this.
This is something that we're doing in partially in celebration of, October, Halloween, scary stuff, that kind of thing, and partially because it is one of my favorite franchises that has been out there. And I feel like the game has done a very true representation of the movie. We are giving away a copy of Alien Isolation. Your console or your system of choice, we've got PS4, Xbox One, and PC. All you gotta do is, if you head to our website at GameScoopThursdays.com, we have a sticky post up there right now about the October giveaway. All you gotta do is head over there and click the link to the tweet that we sent out and follow and retweet, or you can just register on our site and leave a comment. You can do both. So I've got a lot of people already who have taken advantage of that to get 2 entries in there. But, we're going to be picking a random name out of them, probably out of a hat, and just handing out that copy. Shipping and all that fun stuff is paid for and whatnot. So for details, head towards GameScoopThursdays.com, but I hope we can get as many people as we can to participate in that because I'm super excited about it, and I want to hear other people be excited about getting a hold of Alien Isolation too. It makes me glad to see when people are interested in getting that.
Game Scoop Thursdays, where you can win a free copy of Alien Isolation.
And possibly more to come later. So keep an eye out.
Yes.
Because these
like a certain little game in November that, deserves no recognition whatsoever.
Yeah,
but it's not like there's 4 games in one.
We're not saying anything specific, but
no.
Yeah.
Plead the fifth.
Yep. Didn't say anything. So keep an eye out.
Yes.
These giveaways is something we've been wanting to do for a while, and hopefully with the new site redesigns and everything, it'll be a little bit easier to give you guys the content and create some interest so that we actually can do these giveaways more often.
And
I just had an awesome idea.
Oh.
I'm getting my first. Very good or very bad?
No, I'm getting my first loot crate this month because I just signed up for it, and it's supposed to be a fear loot crate. And I was wondering if, maybe the people watching would like to see an unboxing of it because I've never even seen what comes inside of a loot crate before.
Hey, if they don't want to see it, I want to see it anyway.
And then I could pretty much probably give away something that comes in it.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be a surprise. More to come later on that.
Yeah, so keep it. So keep an eye out. We got a lot of stuff coming, and
yes.
We're hoping.
Definitely do.
Yes, we do. We're hoping all y'all enjoy it.
One of those things that is up and coming, we will be talking about right after Jeremy talks about the new and improved GameScoopThursdays.com.
Oh yes. For those of you who haven't noticed already, we have updated our site. It now has pretty pictures and weird slidey things, registration, and a forum built into the site instead of, being off-site like it was before.
And a drop-down menu.
Yes, and a drop-down menu. That was, probably actually the least exciting part of that. But, we have a drop-down menu for those of you who are particularly excited about drop-down menus.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
But it is going to... It has been updated. It is a lot cleaner. We actually have streamlined it so that our contributors are going to be able to get you the content that they feel that they want to write about so that, we'll be able to get more of our opinions out there.
Which
I've already seen
one of our contributors is on the show here today.
Oh, yes.
Logan.
Oh, wait, what? I zoned out there for a second.
Yeah, no, he's not paying attention. But still, he's here. He exists. I promise he does. Mr. Logan Clark is your last name, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good. Mr. Logan Clark over here is our resident Halo encyclopedia thing. So he is going to be joining us for, Halo Month with the Master Chief Collection, and posting anything that he kind of wants about Halo or any Halo-related thing or anything else.
Anything that he feels like writing, he can just type it up and hit post, and then it's there.
Expect
Yay.
Halo things, but possibly other things as well.
Yes. And the forums. We still need more people in the forums.
Yes, we do. We're working on getting the forums populated so that we can get a lot of discussions going on there as well. If you go to GameScoopThursdays.com right now, you can actually register on the main page and use that same login for the forums. In fact, if you register on our page and create your account, you never actually have to change your account for the forums. You'll just stay logged in for both. So, hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier than it was before, where people had to, go and sign up for the site separately. So we're trying to streamline everything. And if you guys have any suggestions about site layout or having any trouble with it, as always, we've got our support at GameScoopThursdays.com for any issues, or feedback at GameScoopThursdays.com for anything that you guys think would be a good addition to the site, because we're more than glad to listen to suggestions and change it up to better suit you guys.
Just as you're saying that, do you think we should have a support forum?
We're probably gonna make one, so you can probably post it there too.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're not able to post, and that's the thing you are trying to contact support about, then you could email it, or somehow get the carrier pigeon option and fly it to us.
Well, we're gonna be working with FedEx to see if they'll be able to loan us some of their passenger pigeons, and
we can't say for certain, but we may or may not have rented a Pelican for use in November.
Yeah,
so if you randomly see
one flying around, details right now. I think that the FAA is giving us a little bit of trouble.
Oh! But we do know a person with a helicarrier.
Oh, right, we do.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on now. We are going to be starting something called GST Updates. And what these are going to be short little shows about specific games. Being the type of podcast that we are, where we cover a very large variety of gaming news. I thought it would be good, and we all thought it would be good to have separate shows that we release that are game specific. So we're at least going to have some for Halo and Destiny, and I think we're working. Well, we're going to have one for sports games such as Madden, NBA, and things like that. And we're trying to get one for League of Legends, and and we got a World of Warcraft one.
A good one. I forgot about that.
I
play League of Legends.
We do have a World of Warcraft one coming with a couple friends of ours. So be looking for those sometime soon. We're going to start rolling those out as quickly as we can, I think.
We're working on it.
Yeah, I think Jeremy and I might be recording one or two shortly and working on getting everyone else involved. But yeah, I mean, and if you had an idea for GST updates, or if you even want to be a part of them, do let us know. And you can email all that into feedback@GameScoopThursdays.com. So those are some things that we've got coming, and we've got also a couple other really cool things, in my opinion, coming. We're not going to talk about those just yet, but we will be shortly. So let's move right into the main gist of things, where the Iron Banner is back in Destiny.
Yes, it is. I'm currently punishing myself right now.
Yes, if you ever played the Destiny beta, odds are you probably played the Iron Banner in there, and it's just a place where you can go and earn some cool gear, which by far what the Hunter's Cloak that can be won in the Iron Banner is probably the coolest.
It is so pretty.
Unfortunately, the Warlock's Bond is kind of the weakest thing you can win there. You can also win a space bus. If you don't know what that is, that's just a massive hulking ship that you can win that I've only seen once. Anyway, if you're me, you go into the Iron Banner. You can be at the top of the team and not win anything, but hey, why not?
Hey, that happens. It's
just the privatized loot system.
Part of the loot system.
Oh, Lord. I know that feel.
Yeah, everyone knows that feel. But hey, they updated the Cryptarch. Everyone's happy about that.
Yeah. Only thing is, I've recently restarted my Destiny character on the Xbox One, and I'm getting absolute crap.
What do you mean? Like,
I am getting nothing. I am getting no engrams, no gear, nothing.
No engrams? I've been getting tons of them since.
Oh no! Yeah, if I jumped on the PS4, I would be getting, engrams galore, but not on the Xbox One. So,
that's nice.
I smell a conspiracy.
That's what's going.
Yeah, so that I probably, if I get past level I don't know. I think I'm level 5 on the Xbox One. So when I get past that, maybe I'll find some better stuff.
Yeah, hopefully past
So,
that.
unfortunately, the Queen's bounty is gone. But if you had any active bounties, apparently you still can turn them in. Because
Yes,
Jeremy just did one like 5 minutes before we started.
They exist still, and you can still turn them in. Now, the person's not really there anymore to redeem anything, but hey, it's probably going to be there for the next time the Queen's emissary decides to show up
If it ever
grace us
comes
with their
back.
presence. I imagine they'll be here at some point in the future.
Probably. So now I just thought maybe a cool little section would be to talk about the favorite achievement or trophy that we have earned in any video game. So Logan, why don't you go first up on this one?
Oh, me. Can we circle back to me? Can I
Sure.
Can you phone a friend or ask an audience or something? All right.
Jamie.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, mine is I Feel So Enchanting from Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. You basically just have to enchant every single piece of armor in your inventory. But I love that it's called I Feel So Enchanting.
It's enchanting.
That's cool.
It's cool. Like, I feel so pretty.
So pretty, so very, very pretty.
Terence, how about you?
All right, so I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm not a trophy person.
Yay!
I never really paid too much attention to it because me also probably about tying into what I'm probably going to add on to later. But I'm more of an old school gamer. I like a whole bunch of old school games. So just like yesterday, all I was doing is playing my Sega Genesis and just having my old school stuff on. So I've never been one to actually pay attention to when I'm getting trophies and stuff. Even though my trophy score is pretty high on my PSN, but I never really pay attention to it, truthfully. I've never been an achievement hunter.
I mean, you don't have one specifically that you feel really good about getting?
To be perfectly honest, okay. Shovel Knight has achievements, and that actually I did do. Now, they have a little achievements that you can do, and there was just one where you can do bounce hop with your shovel on enemies. So they have this one achievement to where in one of the cities you can bounce hop on this little circle toy that this kid is playing with, and you got to do it for 10 seconds. And it sounds simple, but it was one of the most difficult things to do. And when I finally did it, I felt so accomplished with my life. So I'll probably say that one. That's probably one of my favorite ones because I actually had to put in work to do that.
Right. Speaking of achievements you have to put in work for, that brings us pretty much to mine. Endure. Halo ODST. Ooh. Oh my god. Getting to the end of the third set was on Legendary was borderline impossible. It took so much teamwork between the guys I was playing with, and it didn't help that we were having issues with one of the guys' internet. We actually, on one occasion, got to 3 waves before the end. The end was in sight, and he disconnected, and we all got dropped from the game. For those of you who are blissfully unaware of the attempt to get Endure, that thing takes hours to get. You just have to sit there, and if you all die, sorry, that sucks for you. You don't have anything. So that was mine, and getting it was a really proud achievement for me because I just say, okay, I did it, I'm done, that's it. Good.
You know, my friend was going for the Endure achievement with at least 2 of our other friends. I forget who the third guy he was playing with. And then he went AFK because he had to go to the high school football game or whatever was going on, whatever football game it was that night.
Okay.
And so he was AFK the entire match, but when he came back, they had unlocked the achievement.
See, if he hid in a really good spot, or if they were on what was the preserve that you can get the freaking chopper on?
Lost Platoon.
Yeah,
Lost Platoon.
That's what
if
I
you're
got.
on Lost Platoon, okay, whatever. I mean, you get it on Lost Platoon. I don't really like you. We did
Hey, it still
on.
took some. Okay.
What was that? What was the server room?
I'll put it this way. We did it on Lost
Data
Platoon.
Hive. Yes.
We did it on Lost Platoon. And it got to the very end where our friend, we call him Chicken just because of his gamer tag, so that's why I'm calling someone Chicken. Anyway, he goes running off from the area that we were in, and he ends up getting in a building, and all of a sudden we start hearing him yelling over the microphone that he's continually getting killed by a brute chieftain. Yep. So I went running over there, and all of a sudden I start getting killed by the same chieftain, and we just start seeing our kills that we had banked up continually going down. And they keep spawning us inside of that building, and we're getting killed. Anyway, I managed to slip around in back of it, and I start distracting it. And as it's coming at me, I'm like, okay, hey, Chicken, do what we just talked about. And there's no response. I'm like, what? Dude, come on. There's no response. And I start hearing, like, chuckling coming over the mic. And I'm like, what the heck? I turn around, and I just see his service tag go running off in the distance. And I was like, gosh dang it, Chicken. And I die. So, yeah, it got pretty intense there with all the chieftains.
Yeah. No, it is craziness, especially in ODST, where you are very, very fragile, and you don't really have the same kind of stopping power as the Master Chief. Now, the ODST are awesome, don't get me wrong. They're quite possibly one of my favorite soldiers in any game series ever. But, you know, they're kind of squishy in comparison to the Master Chief, and especially when you're having a brute chieftain bear down on you. So that's what made that achievement really stand out for me.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, also Halo related, my favorite achievement would actually be from Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, and it's called Beachhead, and what you had to do was storm the beach on the Silent Cartographer with no marine casualties on Heroic or Legendary. The reason why I like this one so much is because the Silent Cartographer has always been one of my favorites, if not my most favorite level out of any Halo game. And I mean, just playing it back in 2001, it was just a beautiful level. And then getting to experience that again in the Anniversary Edition, but seeing how much it had changed in 10 years was amazing. And I mean, it was just a lot of fun to get that achievement. I think I ended up getting it on the second try because the first time there was a mishap with a grenade and some people not getting out of the way. But I mean,
it's
that
clearly
was just
their fault.
I don't remember. I think I like threw it and it bounced off of the Covenant that I was throwing it at and like went back to the little shield area that they were hiding behind. It's like, oh crap, boom, they're dead. Like, dang it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was it was really an awesome achievement, and that whole storming the beach. I mean, that's just an awesome moment in gaming history in general. I mean, that's just fun. So, anyway, Logan, we have made it back to you. Have you decided yet?
I have. And
have you decided?
My favorite achievement, one of the biggest impact on maybe the way I played a game, is the Bigfoot achievement in Halo 4. And the Bigfoot achievement, for those who don't know, is you had to get 20 stomp kills with the Mantis on
a
Crimson map, which there's only Shatter. Only Shatter had the Mantis. So I got really good with the Mantis because of that. And now I am one with the Mantis. I know how to use it. I get into Mantis first. I know what to do with it.
I found it really hard to use the Mantis because I wasn't used to it. And I never really got used to using the Mantis, I don't think.
See, most people try to use it they try to use it too much like maybe a Scorpion or a Wraith. Well, you need to use it like a support vehicle. You need to have people around. It's good for taking out Banshees and good for taking out Hogs, but you can't just charge into a base. Its shields are pretty fragile. I mean, someone with a DMR or a battle rifle, they're going to take your shields down out pretty fast. and you don't really have the stopping power to take on multiple people. I mean, maybe you can stomp somebody and keep shooting at someone else, but odds are someone's going to slip behind you and hijack you, and then you're going to be really sad.
Yeah, the Mantis was really tough to try and get used to in Halo 4. I never actually managed it, partially because I do feel like Halo 4's vehicle play was a little... I don't want to say, bad, because I mean, I had fun with it, but the vehicle play, I didn't get the same feel as did, like, Halo Reach or Halo 3. Just 2 cents out there real quick, sorry.
You mean like Halo 4 not feeling like any of the older Halo games?
At least with vehicle play. That's the one thing I noticed specifically. Because vehicles were always a huge deal to me in Halo. They were really dear to my heart because I played Big Team all the time. And them feeling really significantly different in how they played.
I think a lot of the vehicles in Halo 4 were a lot weaker than they have previously been.
And the maps were super tiny in comparison, or a lot of them were, or super compact to where you always had people around you.
Yeah, but I know you and I at least have discussed this, and I guess 343 will be taking Halo 5 multiplayer back to the classic arena-style multiplayer, which is going to be a lot of fun.
I am excited to see what they're going to do with that. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
They have not talked about anything about Big Team Battle about that though. I want to hear some BT. I'm a BTB kind of guy.
Yeah. So I love Big Team. That's my playlist.
I was kind of get off topic here. I was kind of a little disappointed that H2A only has 2 BTB maps. I mean, Zanzi or actually it's called Stonetown and Bloodline. The 4 other ones being pretty much 4v4 maps. Where's the love for BTB? That BTB.
It's I don't know, Halo 4 focused, and it did a good job. It focused on the small matches. It did a good job at focusing on the 4v4s, like you were saying. So, and it did a really solid job at getting the small squad-based gameplay, but it did miss out on a lot of the love that was there for, Big Team or even Squad Battle, 6v6. Squad Battle, actually, I played probably more than Big Team because I actually had 6 people to play with it and had 8 people to play with it. I had 6 people to play with, or 6 total people.
That's what made Dominion very fun. It was a 6v6.
Ooh.
Going after bases. I mean, there's maybe a little bit too many power weapons on the map, but it was kind of it was a very good spiritual successor to the squad versus squad. Right. And I just love Dominion, taking a base, defending a base. And those turrets, very immersive, even though they usually...
Dominion was a lot of fun. It's it felt tactical.
Dominion was my favorite game type in Halo 4. I mean, I think
I have to agree. Dominion was the most interesting game type out of them that I felt. It was the most, just wide, the things you could do with it were just really cool. Sorry, continue.
Mm-hmm. I just lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah. What I was gonna say is, it's going to be awesome that all of the multiplayer maps in Halo history are all going to be in the MCC.
Well, not counting Reach and
right. Okay, yeah, not the non-Master Chief collection. But any game with the Master Chief in it, all the multiplayer maps are going to be in it. Which, as I was doing some research for the article I'm currently in the process of writing for the website, I started going through some of the Combat Evolved multiplayer maps, and when I got to Sharon TL34, that's going to be a nightmare multiplayer. That actually pops up.
Hopefully that doesn't get into rotation as often.
Yeah, no, watch launch day. It's going to be Sharon. It's going to be this is terrible.
Halo 1 had some chaotic kind of map designs because they hadn't really reached out to see what was super good in arena kind of gaming yet. But
I will say this. It's really cool because, you can always think about this as being a map for an FPS, but they actually did it back in 2001. They made a frickin' hallway, a straight shot hallway, a map.
yeah, like I said, they had some crazy designs in the first Halo there for maps. So it'll be weird seeing how those actually play in modern day matchmaking settings.
So, I mean, it'll be fun. Except Sharon TL34, that will be a nightmare. Although it's a strange thing that I actually hope that I will play on it at one point.
At one point.
Yeah. All right. So now we were hoping that he who shall not be named was going to be here for this portion of the podcast, since, he's the one who knows all about it and has, I think, 14 characters currently.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. But this would be the expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic called Shadow of Revan. Dang it. Logan,
Revan.
How do you pronounce it again? Revan.
Revan.
Right. Revan. I will never remember that. I always go for the intricate thing. Okay, well, anyway. Revan. The Shadow of Revan, which it'll be released on December 9th. The level cap will be increased to 60, and new worlds, flashpoints, and operations will be added to the game. Any subscribers who pre-order the expansion by December 1st will receive 12 times the experience boost up to level 55, which I think Jordan was saying that experience boost starts from the moment that you pre-order it, and not December 1st specifically. So then I'm hoping that this is exactly what he said, but as long as it is, I guess you can pre-order it now and get the nice 12 times the experience. Of course, that could be terribly wrong because I haven't talked to him about it since that day before he left. So they'll be there, and I think that's pretty much all I know about it. I mean, I played a little bit of The Old Republic when it first came out. Tried getting back into it, but never really ended up playing it all that much. So, Logan, you played it a little bit, right?
I played a little bit, but since I was doing the free version, I mean, you get shafted a lot if you're doing the free version. You couldn't get up to level 55. You had a credit cap that was pretty darn low. I mean, I don't know. I've played the World of Warcraft trial once, and that seemed okay. And I had played Star Wars Galaxies before I got Xbox Live, and that was fun, though the story was pretty much non-existent in Star Wars Galaxy. So I do appreciate what BioWare did with the story in the Old Republic, and I liked my trooper being the big, chubby trooper he was, charging into battle. I don't know how he was chubby, though, after all the running he did in Coruscant. He must have lost like 70 pounds, I swear.
He just eats way more than he loses.
I guess
he's got a donut baker in his helmet, and it just constantly produces donuts for him to eat.
He deserves it. All the work he did, all the work and barely any appreciation.
He gets one donut per shot fired.
Krispy Kreme.
Oh no, I want donuts. There were donuts at Pilot. I should have got some donuts. I got one of these instead. I was wanted to save money. But I told you how I got free donuts at Pilot the other time.
Why does it sound like somebody threw their microphone in a washing machine?
Oh.
I think that's Terence using the bathroom.
No. I don't do that. I'm not rude.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, guys. I had to tinkle.
I am an upstanding citizen.
Really? Because I thought you were sitting down.
Girl, I'm a stand-up guy.
Oh my gosh. Alright, well, moving right along, since unfortunately that guy is not here to talk about it. So hopefully that guy will be back on next week's show to talk about it, unless I can get him to record some audio and send it to us to add on at the end of this week's show, which, by the way, since we did mention that until we actually get a following from week to week, we will be keeping the recording on a Sunday, releasing on a Thursday, until once we get that following, we'll eventually move to live streaming the podcast on Thursdays.
Right.
So, I mean, since there is the 3 days in between recording and release, Starting it with last week's episode, just because I felt like we were cheating our listeners from not giving them all of the information. At the end of each episode, after the ending music plays, which I have made shorter, might be shortening up it again, or it might be changing. Terence might be coming up with something. So there'll just be a little tidbit, kind of with some news that's been released from Sunday to Thursday, which can also be considered as a little preview into the following week's episode, which brings us to the main bulk of information that's been released, and that is concerning Halo the Master Chief Collection, which they announced the achievements, in which there will be 402 achievements worth 4,000 gamer score.
Huh.
Logan, you and I should be able to wipe those out in a day, right?
No, I believe I actually saw people on Waypoint talking about it. The earliest you could potentially do it to get all the achievements would be February of 2015. Or actually, February 11th, 2015, because there's an achievement to play a match 3 months after your first match.
Maybe. I do know that, it goes up to, winning 1,000 games in multiplayer or something like that?
Actually, it might go up to 5,000. Let me check.
I've got them up.
No, you got to cheat. I want to say it. Let me type it.
All right. You go.
I don't even have an Xbox One yet, and I want to see this. I'm intrigued.
You need to get an Xbox One. So know what you both should do. You should buy the nice shiny white Sunset Overdrive bundle Xbox One.
Actually, yes, because that white Xbox is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is custom. I ain't gonna lie, it's like it has Gucci all over it. It's kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna be picking that up, partially because Sunset Overdrive seems like it'd be a little bit of fun. Possibly, we'll see.
That releases on the 28th, I think.
Really? Okay, I should be able to.
I think it was the 28th.
Probably.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I just hope it actually plays good. It looks like
right.
It's a lot of fun.
You know, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be one of those games where you go to for mindless action and not really story.
So basically, Dead Rising. That's what I went. That's what I played Dead Rising for.
Yeah.
Oh, Dead Rising. Oh, I had a really bad experience with Dead Rising 2. That time limit killed the game for me.
It sucked.
Yeah, it did. It was hard to deal with.
This is to explain the two Dead Rising, or the three Dead Rising games. First one was boring. The second one was exciting, then it got boring. And the third one was it looked pretty, but it was boring.
I haven't played the third one.
Those games are so boring.
Eventually, it does get kind of old. But I mean, you get some really cool times with it. The followers, they kind of suck completely. They always have.
Sure.
But there's just a couple of times, there was this one character who was just the biggest bitch. She was just complaining about everything. And to put it very bluntly, I'm sorry, but she was just complaining about everything. And I was watching my friend play, and she was getting very annoying. But he was trying to get her back to the safe house so he'd dump her and never have to deal with her again. But they were walking up an escalator, and he was aiming down the escalator with a sniper rifle. I think her name was Janet. He was aiming down the escalator with a sniper rifle, just killing zombies that are coming up the stairs, waiting for the followers to come up. And then as soon as he pulls the trigger, Janet's head fills up the entire screen, and she just explodes into a red mist, and then it's Janet has died, and it's oh, I really wish I could feel bad about that,
but I don't.
Random.
But Dead Rising was fun in a I really don't want to pay attention to anything and just murder hordes of zombies kind of way.
I think sadly, I think the zombie genre of games has not been properly done yet since Left 4 Dead.
Except in The Last of Us.
And
depends on what kind of genre you're talking about, because if we're talking survival horror, a couple arguments can be made for games like DayZ. However, whoever has their own feelings about DayZ. as a mod or as a standalone. Has anybody actually played DayZ other than me?
Okay, now I've only seen gameplay by Peanut Butter Gamer. I've watched them play it when they did the hardcore DayZ. That is hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, I actually want to play it.
DayZ is a crazy bundle of oh my god, this is so frustrating, and it's the most accomplished you'll ever feel in a video game when you do something really well. It's just weird. I've had the best times I've ever had in video gaming in DayZ, late at night with a bunch of friends, and I've had literally the most infuriating moments in them ever. Also,
True.
So I'm looking forward to the standalone. For it.
Now DayZ is supposed to be coming
exactly
on the PS4, right?
Especially when it comes, and they're talking about Xbox One afterwards, but PS4 could be the first one. That is going to be exciting because it'll make it way more accessible for people. Because a lot of people avoid it because it's PC, it's alpha, it's buggy, that kind of thing. And that's a turnoff for a lot of people. But I played DayZ when it was a mod, and that was nothing short of incredibly buggy. So it doesn't bother me to buy an alpha game.
True.
But I'm looking forward to that. That definitely is much more of a focused thing than something like Dead Rising or Sunset Overdrive. Anyway, I think consoles. I think like DayZ would be the one to actually resurrect the console zombie games because Dead Island was an atrocity. Dead Island. Okay,
have you ever looked at your feet in Dead Island?
Yeah.
It's terrible. I was playing as the Asian lady in Dead Island. I looked down. The feet were twigs.
Yeah,
it made me feel bad to look at.
I think the feet in Fire Emblem Awakening look better.
I think the feet in Minecraft probably look better.
The one thing I'll say about Dead Island, I had fun playing it only because of the analog melee they had on the consoles. That was a lot of fun. The fact that you could aim your weapon and swing with the sticks was really cool. It wasn't just a press button melee, but you could smack a zombie to the right, smack a zombie to the left, hit it up into the air, and then smack it back down if you wanted to. That was really cool. And the direction mattered. You could slash from the right to the left and cut off their arm if their arm was in the way of it. That was really immersive, and I loved that. Everything else about it was just really, really cool.
Speaking of the melee in Dead Island, the first and only time that I played Dead Island, my friend joined my game and handed me this spiky, flaming baseball bat of death.
Yeah, then there was... Yeah.
He just gave it to me and then left.
And what's funny is I think that was another good thing about the Dead Island series. You could customize, because I saw there was this. I had a big it looked like a hatchet with barbed wire around it, and it was full of electricity. I was like, how am I holding this right now?
Right? No, things like that were a lot of fun. It's okay, do I take this exotic machete that I have right now, this really awesome machete, and do I turn it into a shock weapon, or do I turn it into poison, or do I set it on fire, apparently, or what do I do with this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool trying to decide that sort of thing. Has anyone played Riptide?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
How is Riptide?
It's the same game, but with more water.
No, it's pretty much just like regular Dead Island, but it continues on the story.
I kind of am interested in the story.
The story is the same too.
And
I'll be totally honest, y'all are hating on Dead Island, but I really like the story.
The story is the same in both games.
No, it's not. It's a pretty good game. I like it.
I wasn't able to get into it, and it was a free
What was one
game.
character's name? Name one character's name.
I don't remember the characters. You remember the last time I played Dead Island?
Point proof.
That's a good one, Terence.
In one character. I can't remember any of them. I can't remember a damn one of them.
Okay,
none of the characters.
I think that's enough hating on Jamie's Dead Island. So
Sorry, Jamie.
No, that's alright.
she's probably like,
No, a
"Screw you
lot of
guys,
people
I'm
don't
leaving
like
now."
it. That's why I'm saying a lot of people don't like Dead Island. But I can honestly say I've played through both of them and played through the whole game on both of them, beat them. And I like the story of them because they do have separate stories. Believe it or not, Terence, they do continue on.
Theoretically.
That brings up the question, Jamie, are you getting Dead Island too?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, Dead Island 2 actually looks like a huge.
No. You can't base a game by the trailers. We did that with Watch Dogs, and it was terrible.
I'm upset though that the Dead Island, the story from how it went from Riptide to this new one, Dead Island 2, is only gonna be on 360 and PS3, and I don't have my PS3 anymore.
Yeah.
There's a potential incoming rant about that related to Assassin's Creed Rogue. But maybe we should say that later.
Wait, what about it? What?
Assassin's Creed Rogue. Like, Assassin's Creed Unity is only going to be available on the PS4 and Xbox One.
Uh-huh.
And Assassin's Creed Rogue is only going to be available on the 360 and PS3.
Ew. What? Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's reaction.
And then there's going to be Assassin's Creed Identity on iOS.
You don't get to go like, okay, we feel sad for last-gen gamers, let's only release this on last-gen.
That's even more confusing since Black Flag was multi-console. It was for both gens. Why couldn't you do that again if you really wanted to treat the last-gen consoles with respect? I'm okay with that, but don't make it exclusive to them. A
last-gen exclusive is just a terrible idea from even just a purely business standpoint. What are you doing?
It's Ubisoft.
Oh, well, I will say Ubisoft's never made any sense. Did anyone play Blacklist, Splinter Cell?
I played a little bit of it, and I liked it.
I liked it. It was a good game. I mean, it was really repetitive and dumbed down from the earlier Splinter Cells, I will say. But I just have a sore point with Ubisoft and Uplay on PC. Because I got my character, I got him just the way I wanted to after hours and hours and hours of gameplay with friends. Ubisoft kind of just deleted it. It was just gone. Like, one day I got kicked from a game and none of my character data exists anymore. Like, none of my story campaign, or campaign progress, anything, it's all gone. I'm like, how did you, what? So I have a little, I feel certain ways about Uplay, and they're not all like PG-13. So yeah.
Which alright, well, moving back from our rant of terrible games and terrible things that have happened in games.
I like rants
all night.
The achievements in the Master Chief Collection just range from, killing X amount of enemies, slaughtering X amount of grunts, to completing the stories, including everybody's favorite lasso challenges. Which
those who having to beat all 4 games on lasso.
Yeah, which for those of you who don't know what that is legendary all skulls.
No, hold on. Are they changing the way the skulls in Halo 2 worked or not? Is iron still the same?
Halo 2 Anniversary actually has both the old ones and the new ones. Halo 2 Anniversary has like 20 skulls.
Okay, because iron in Halo 2 was chaotic. I hated iron in Halo 2, especially when you're playing co-op. If anybody died, you're just done. Go back to the last checkpoint. And they changed it later on to where both of you had to die, technically, to have you revert to the last checkpoint. But iron was just a nightmare.
That sounds like it.
I'm looking over the achievements right now, but yeah, it's only win 500 multiplayer games. It wasn't like 5,000 like we thought.
That would have been terrible. 5,000? I don't think I've even played 5,000 games of Halo 4. I have probably of 3 in Reach, but not 4.
Trying to look over. There's a lot of terminal achievements. Actually, something interesting. There are collectible dolls in Halo 2 Anniversary.
Yes, there are. There's a bunch of toys.
Yeah, like little dolls you can collect.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing. That's
a weird collectible.
There's like all
it says
achievements.
toy. Let's see. Master Chief toy, Prophet of Regret toy, Arbiter toy, Tartarus toy, Cortana toy, Librarian toy, Rampant Cortana toy, Didact toy. Okay,
They're probably like, I imagine they're like the trophies in Super Smash Brothers, like that kind of thing.
It's probably going to end up like that stuffed Master Chief that you could find in all of the anniversary maps.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of achievements for finding all of the Easter eggs, and
this is Scarab's Gun achievement.
Nice.
So, but I have no idea who is Meg.
I don't know.
The return of who is Meg?
It's actually going to be Meg from Family Guy.
That's probably what first came to mind.
She's going to be just a boss, a big ugly monkey boss, just walking around destroying things. For no reason.
T-Rex size kicking down New Mombasa.
Coming to Halo 2 near you, the USC have a new enemy to fear, and her name is Meg.
Yeah. She ain't playing no games. Ain't no game. She's trying to kill everything.
The Covenant and the humans band together against this new threat.
I know I didn't.
Meg. Meanwhile, the prophets think she is a Forerunner reincarnate.
The Flutter is kind of confused as to what's going on.
And then the prophets get eaten by Meg.
See, I imagine the Grave Mind would just kind of see that and be like, I'm sorry, what? And then just kind of leave everybody alone until they sorted that out.
So,
wait, there's one more thing I want to talk about the achievement before we move on. What is I think I told you this, Alex, the barely contained achievement. It's actually a play on one of Catalog's posts.
Right.
It involves a ship that crashes on Installation 04, and one of Catalog's humorous posts was confirming that it was not sapient bears. Some person in the forums suggested maybe it was space bears.
Oh, I remember
that.
Bears. Wow.
And hence why the achievement is named Barely Contained.
I mean, what does it mean, space bears?
We know that ship, space bears were not on that ship, but barely contained.
Nice.
That is cool.
I believe there's also an achievement named after Naked Eli from YouTube, if you guys know him. Naked Eli / Naked
I know you've talked about him.
I know the Book of Eli.
Yeah, the Book of Eli is a good movie.
That's a solid movie, which also has Meg in it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
that's right. It actually does.
All right. Well, that makes sense. Maybe Denzel Washington is going to pop up in the Master Chief collection somewhere.
That will make it the best collection ever.
Then it'll be like Deja Vu.
Yes, Denzel Washington will play Agent Locke's father, and which probably means
he'll be the Man on Fire.
I wouldn't say fire, more like glass, since Agent Jameson Locke became an orphan when Jericho 7 was glass in 2535.
No. You see, it's going to be like Marvel, where character dies, but not really.
Well, if it's 616, and yeah, but if it's 1610, then no. Or you could be like DC and reboot your universe every 5 years.
Yeah, no, because they can get away with
or
stuff. Or
it could be like Spider-Man and just reboot it every 4.
And here is an alternate universe now. And you're like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah, because now Sinister Six is a reboot. So let's reboot it again.
Well, actually, I think that movie got canceled.
No, I don't think it's canceled. I think it's still in production.
No, because Spider-Man, the Venom and Carnage movie, those are being like on the ropes right now.
No. Those got canceled. The Sinister Six is now a softer reboot.
I don't think it's going to happen because I think after the failure that Amazing Spider-Man 2 had at the box office, Sony doesn't know what to do with their franchise anymore. And
sell it back to Marvel.
That's kind of their only option. If they want to make money, they need to sell it back to Marvel.
The fact that Sony actually owns it is just weird.
No, you see, the problem is
why because
The-
Marvel was going bankrupt in the 90s. So they were just, okay, you can have this, you can have that, just give us money.
One of the problems with Fox and who has X-Men and I think the Fantastic Four, which just judging by the cast, it's going to be absolutely horrid. I will not be seeing it.
Not the top bar.
But I think just the fact that Fox at least is trying to be like, hey, well, Marvel and Disney have the Avengers. Meanwhile, we're going to do it with the X-Men. But we still keep making terrible movies. We had a good one with First Class, and then we decided, oh, all those cast members that you really like there, yeah, we're not going to really have them in the movies anymore. So
Days of Future Past was still one of the sexiest movies ever, though.
it was bad.
Wait, it was sexist?
That movie was hard.
No, it was bad.
Wait, when was it sexist? I'm not saying I disagree. I just don't know which part you're talking about.
You're saying
Quicksilver.
No, I think he
Point
said
out.
it was. I think he said it was sexy, not sexist.
Oh.
You're sexist for thinking it's not sexy.
I just like how they completely did away with the Scarlet Witch. They're like, oh, well, we can't do that because, Josh Whedon's using Quicksilver in the Scarlet Witch. Meanwhile, we're like, oh, Josh Whedon has Quicksilver? Well, guess what? We're going to have Quicksilver, but we're not going to have a sister.
You can have Quicksilver. You can have Quicksilver, but only Sony gets Spider-Man. And only 20th Century Fox.
No. Spider-Man's going to have their own
You
Quicksilver.
get a Quicksilver. You
Probably.
get a Quicksilver.
Their Quicksilver is going to be the reincarnate of Emma Stone.
What's funny is Quicksilver is being played by Kick-Ass.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
what's even funnier is that his co-star from that movie is Quicksilver in Days of Future Past.
That is funny.
Two guys from the same movie
Oh God, that is him.
playing the same superhero. Just one of them is going to be in the far superior movie. Just saying.
It all depends on who's going to be the far superior Quicksilver. Because I'm sorry,
But since he is going to be in Age of Ultron, there is a good chance that Godzilla will appear to fight Ultron.
Wait, Godzilla?
Because it's Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was in Godzilla. So since he's going to be Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, we might
This boy
have
giving people
Godzilla
false hopes.
appear to fight Ultron.
this boy giving people
Not
false
that
hopes.
that would ever happen, but it would be completely hilarious to at least have a Godzilla Easter egg somewhere revolving around Quicksilver.
That would be interesting because Marvel did used to have the license for Godzilla comics, but they lost it a long
Tupac
time
going to
ago.
direct this movie.
Although Godzilla has appeared several times in Marvel comics, it has been technically legally they can't say it is, but yeah.
oh no, it's giant lizard thing coming from the ocean that isn't actually really Godzilla.
It's like that scene in Austin Powers in the third one.
You're going to have to elaborate on that one.
I ain't seen Austin Powers since Austin Powers seen me.
Yeah, right?
You just
I don't watch
you'll
Austin
have to
Powers.
watch the movie
Austin
again
Powers
to
watches me.
for the scene to give you justice. It's interesting. The scene actually has the actor who plays Hero from Heroes in it.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
I mean it's
never
like a
seen-
super duper minor role, only like one line of dialogue, but it's Hero.
If can he please be well? Anyway, speaking of off topic, did that actually get rebooted or not?
Yeah, they're having like Heroes Reborn or something.
I know they were going to, but I just didn't.
Oh
hear
no,
anything about
it's still happening. I don't know details. I never watched Heroes.
It's actually I think
Season
it's a
one
really
is
good
the only-
series.
Season 1. That's all I got to say.
Season 1, yeah.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that it the first season was good, but then it all went downhill.
It kind of it gets a little convoluted, but I still liked it. I actually need to rewatch that whole series because I did like it a lot.
I think it's on Netflix.
It was.
I think. I don't know.
Heroes?
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah, here it is on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that pretty much just wraps it up for achievements. I mean, just story stuff, killing stuff, winning stuff, playing stuff. So, IGN did a nice little video called "The Horse You Rode In On," which pretty much just kind of walks you through some of the Halo games and shows that the Hornet will be playable on Halo 2 anniversary maps at least.
That's interesting.
Which, as Logan and I were talking about the other day, I think when I asked him if he wanted to be on this week's episode, I think he was saying that it's probably going to be a toned down, less powerful version of the Hornet, probably one without
Transform Hornet, yes?
without a missile pod. So
No, Avalanche. That needs to be that Hornet.
No. That Hornet sucks. You keep
I like that Hornet!
No. There needs to be a happy medium between the regular Hornet and the crappy Snow Hornet.
The Transport Hornet, I'm just going to say, I wrecked face with that thing.
hey,
Because it was...
I'm surprised someone didn't kill you with a plasma rifle.
Well, okay, it was kind of fragile, but it helped that I had friends shooting out the jump seats. But still,
Yeah, it was fine for CTF, but I said even the Revenant was fine for CTF. And
Revenant was fun for CTF. I love the Revenant.
well, we're going to be getting a gun goose, so maybe there'll be something done with the Hornet.
Yeah.
Um,
But
off topic.
Sorry, go on.
Off-topic rant on the Revenant. Frickin', it's a spork. It's a frickin' spork. You know what I mean by spork.
Not exactly, no.
Because it's... You could kill someone faster with a ghost, and you could kill someone faster with a wraith. With the Revenant, you really had to tailor with somebody. I mean, it was kind of good for anti-Warthog gameplay, but that's about it.
The Revenant by itself didn't really have a significant role other than acting like the new Mongoose, because the Mongoose, for some reason in Halo Reach, it felt like it took a beating, like it wasn't as useful as it was in Halo 3. It just like you took more damage and were more exposed or something like that.
It could be because of the different damage systems between 3 and Reach for vehicles, because in Halo 3, vehicle health regenerated, and Reach and 4, it doesn't.
Yeah, and the Mongoose became borderline useless for actually flag running, except in very specific circumstances. The Revenant feels like it kind of took that role over as being the primary flag running vehicle.
It helped that it had a boost, I think.
Yes.
Does anybody...
Revenant, I will give the Revenant this. It was good at CTF. The Revenant can have that compliment from me.
Yes. In regular, anything other than CTF, it's super mediocre.
Does anybody remember the Ballad of Forky that Bungie did before the release of Halo Reach?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was like a picture series of when they... It was a picture series of when they took the forklift on the courtyard firefight map, and they were just driving Forky. Forky is the name of the forklift, so...
Yeah.
You know, they were driving Forky around, and they had pictures and captions like, oh, this is Forky doing this, and sadly Forky just blew up, and they called it the Ballad of Forky. It was right there in their weekly update that they had.
Why was the forklift not in multiplayer? Why was it not in Forge? That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah. I seriously wanted to have, like, Mongoose races, except with a forklift.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah, I think that would have been amazing. Oh, just gonna throw this out there. Favorite vehicle in Halo of all time, and will never change, the Falcon.
Falcon's pretty sweet.
Falcon's cool.
I loved the Falcon. I was, like, the master of flying that thing. Lock onto me with rocket launchers, plasma launchers, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna win. Being able to, like, balance two of these, like, one guy on either side, and just, like, rotate them slightly to where you need to go. And just, like, how awesome it felt, like, landing and picking people up. It was a very solid, like, and that's going to be one of my iconic Halo vehicles, like the Warthog. At least for me. That thing was just awesome.
Yeah, it was a shame that it... Alright, someone talking? I don't want to cut off anybody.
Oh, no, sorry. You started
Okay,
before.
it was a shame that it got cut from Halo 4.
I was so sad. I was so sad.
I remember at the E3 2012, you could there's that picture of the level Forerunner, and you got Chief in front of the kind of end of the level, standing in front of the Infinity, and you can see Falcons flying near the Infinity. And so for the longest time, we thought Falcons were going to be in Halo 4, but it probably got cut along with the Revenant, back to the Revenant.
I feel like a lot of it was due to, this is wild speculation, but console constraint, and that is one of the issues why they had to limit the map size and everything was purely because of console constraint on the console that it released on. Sorry, the 360. Why did I say that?
I'm sorry. Logan, I just realized your picture on Skype is the Arbiter with a monocle and a top hat.
Actually, I just changed it now. It was that, but I've changed it to the Feel guy with a helmet, and it says "Born to Feel."
I saw that one, but that's hilarious. Anyway, do you think that since the Hornet is going to be in at least a Halo 2 anniversary map, do you think that some of the Falcon might appear? In
I highly doubt it.
I doubt it, but consider this. Back when the Master Chief Collection was just a rumor, I was like, okay, this is never going to happen. And then it happened. I was like, okay.
Right, and
is there a chance that maybe some other vehicles might pop up in Halo 2 Anniversary? Like, nah. Then the Hornet pops up. It's like, well, okay. So at this point, I'm like, maybe.
I would love it, and I want to keep hope for it. The thing is, they're distancing themselves from any of the Halo games that didn't have Master Chief in them. And...
actually, there is a rumor that ODST and Reach is going to be made, because I think they were talking to... I forget exactly who they were talking to. It was either someone from... I think it was someone from 343, but it could have been from Certain Affinity. But they were saying how it's something that they've thought about, or at least heard that people are interested in.
It is because...
They just don't have it in their slate right now.
ODST and Reach, I mean, they have the ability to do that because they have the right to do that now. But ODST and Reach, in my opinion, were the two best told Halo games, like from a story perspective, out there.
Well, Wars was really good. I'd like to see Wars.
Halo Wars is my favorite, so you better watch yourself.
I love Halo Wars. I do. A lot of people rage at it because they feel like it's not canon. I feel like it gets away from technically not being canon.
It doesn't conflict with any canon at all.
Exactly, that's the thing. It's like it's never mentioned, but it doesn't ever conflict. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just new canon. I loved Halo Wars to death. I played it. Legendary AI is a douchebag.
Legendary AI is douchebag.
Well, it is a douchebag when it's doing stuff. Sometimes I've just had the AI be broken and just sit there and do nothing. Like my friend and I got through an entire legendary game. And we're like, where is he? We're normally dead by now. And then he's just sitting in his base, destroying and rebuilding one supply pad. For 45 minutes. I'm like, are you serious? This isn't even fair.
Yeah, you suddenly realize that all your 45 minutes of building up your troops and fortifying your bases was like, oh, we could have just charged in with one guy and one.
Cutter was my shit. I loved Cutter.
Oh no, for me. It was Anders. Oh man,
Anders.
Those Hawks. Oh man,
her Hawks were freaking devastating. Her Hawks, along with Vultures, those things would wreck everything.
I like Vultures,
but they weren't fast enough for my hit and run strategies.
No. I liked Vultures because a lot of my strategy was big sweeping area of denial type of things where it's my forces are in here, you can't move here. I may not control the whole map, but you're this is not your area anymore. That was my playstyle. Although with Cutter, you could effectively permanently lock down an area with ODST because your ODST would recharge before the line of sight would go away. And as long as you had money coming in and a population cap, you could just consistently drop an ODST. You can drop it in, it'll get incinerated by a Jackal sniper, and then drop another one in. You could always keep an area locked down that way until they eventually kill whatever was killing him. Sidebar, although the Arbiter's my second favorite. The Covenant were so hard to play, but I loved them.
Probably the hardest Covenant to play as is probably the Chieftain, just because...
Dude, the Vortex was weird.
It was weird, but it was very funny when I've got a picture on my phone of a super vortex with all these troops in it just flying around.
It was a lot of fun. The Arbiter, I loved his ability. Yeah, I loved his ability, and I actually liked the Honor Guard that you got with the Arbiter. I'm sorry. Wait. Well, so did the Arbiter got?
Arbiter
got side guards. I'm sorry.
Got honor guards.
Right, and that's why I played Regret because I loved the Honor Guards because of their cloak. But the suicide grunts were kind of hilarious. I would late game when I had nothing better to do and I knew I was going to win. I would just throw suicide grunts at things because it was funny.
I mean, make an army of suicide grunts. You could take out some scarabs. It's pretty hilarious and pretty devastating to your enemy.
Especially when you drop them, have them just if you have a cloaked arbiter, they'll just teleport from nowhere and just you can walk your arbiter behind the enemy base and just teleport infinite amounts of just suicide grunts behind their base, and they can't do anything about it.
Oh, and I'm really hoping they make Halo Wars 2. I mean, 3.3. I'm hoping for an early 2016 release.
The thing is, Ensemble is dead.
Ensemble's dead. But
they're technically Robot now, but I'm pretty sure Robot's dead.
So many different, but I think 3.3 can choose a new company to do it.
Yeah. I feel like a Halo real-time strategy is not something that is to be just left out of the works. Because, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and that is an entire section of gamers who love real-time strategy and things like that, and just kind of are left out with it. And Halo lends itself perfectly to real-time strategy.
Yeah, I mean, since originally Halo 1 was going to be an RTS before it became a third-person shooter, before it became a first-person shooter.
And don't even start to where the Master Chief was at one point a robot and then not.
Right.
The complicated bits with development processes.
He's really Goku's cousin.
Yep. That was something they didn't want to release that until Halo 6.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be in Battle of the Gods too. You heard it here first. Master Chief is Goku's cousin on his daddy's side.
Heard it here first on GST.
This is so exclusive.
So exclusive, we don't know what we just told you then.
You can trust us.
This podcast will be erased from your memory as soon as you listen to it.
It's okay. We have to kill you now, but I mean, just keep following us.
We still got the view, so it's okay.
Wrap up the conversation. I loved that. I loved
that way we can play all of the Alien Isolation.
Wrap up conversation. Nope.
Oh, well, let me try to wrap this conversation up about Halo Wars. We get back about the other stuff, but freaking, I don't know. One, I blame, before I get into this, don't always believe official summaries because sometimes they are misleading, which is what happened through Halo Escalations 4 through 6, which was about finding the Spirit of Fire, and they never actually found it. But that's because mostly the official summaries were so misleading. It's not like Christopher Schler, who wrote the comics, wrote the summaries, but Dark Horse himself probably. And there's so much interesting stuff about it. I mean, that fact that Lord Hood used to be the XO of the Spirit of Fire before he became a captain.
I didn't know that Lord Hood was actually the Spirit of Fire. Huh.
Yeah, he got transferred. He became a captain like a month or two before the events of Halo Wars. He got his own Hellstone class light cruiser called the UNSC. Not UNSC Rubicon. The Rubicon was the Prowler that got raided by 3.3 Guilty Spark and Halo Primordium.
Guilty Spark is kind of a dick.
He is still alive and kicking, so more dick stuff to happen, I guess.
Here, fight all of these endless waves of flood. Have a sentinel. Dies immediately.
UNSC Roman Blue. That was it. UNSC Roman Blue was what Captain at the time Hood was. And yeah, but that's kind of what 4 through 6 was about in Halo Escalation. Just kind of Lord Hood kind of dealing with what happened at Arcadia since he didn't pick up the log buoy because he got attacked by he attacked a CPV class heavy destroyer. And as you guys know, Halcyon's class light cruisers aren't that great taking on destroyers, Covenant destroyers. I mean, not every ship's UNSC Infinity that can destroy a destroyer with just 1,000 missiles. That seems like a lot. But...
The Infinity is kind of broken, by the way.
Or by ramming into it.
Oh man, Infinity's so powerful. I mean,
dude,
the main gun. to do what the entire Unicy home fleet and the Orbital Max, which I think a single blast from Orbital Max could probably end all life on Earth, and all those Orbital Max, all those ships in orbit, attack and Mantle's approach, and they were doing nothing, and then Infinity comes along, shoots its primary Max, and actually pierces through the shields and the hull plating. I mean, that's terrifying.
Yeah. The Orbital Max stations were kind of super underwhelming, like, when they actually got tested. Like,
yeah, but I mean...
They did some stuff. I mean, Mac cannons are cool, but...
I mean, yeah, but the Orbital Max are super powerful. They can punch... I believe a single shot from an Orbital Max can punch through a CAS-class assault carrier and still destroy another one behind it.
Ooh,
I mean, those assault carriers they're not easy to take down.
They're not slouches. I mean, they're not the
biggest, but... blow one up with a Covenant bomb in Halo 2. You could do that, but... They had to get the shields down. I mean, because you see in Halo 2, all those human ships just getting vaporized instantly.
Oh, yeah.
And like, oh man, all those crew members on there just die. Oh, makes me feel kind of bad. But there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, there were just little puffs of smoke, like, in the background, eventually. They just poof, poof. And they're just all dead. And it's like, oh.
You do actually see that later, though, when the Great Schism starts in High Charity. Right around that cutscene where Chief pops up in High Charity, you see all these CCS-class battlecruisers doing the same thing. They become these human ships that keep popping after, like, one blast. Because Covenant plasma torpedoes are pretty powerful. Don't get me started on the freaking baby failure CRS-class light cruisers. That Strident-class heavy frigate seem to have no problem taking on. Good for the Strident-class heavy frigate, but, I mean...
Yeah.
Either way, frigate about Halo Escalations 4 through 6. Spoilers. Captain Cutter had a bastard son.
Oh dear.
And Lord Hood gave both Hood's wife and daughter money, in addition to the mistress and the bastard son, which his name was Daniel Clayton, and. Because Lord Hood felt responsible because he wasn't able to get the log buoy where the UNSC Spirit of Fire went. So Lord Hood felt responsible for losing Cutter. And Cutter was his friend. He was kind of like his mentor. You know? So he had a sense of responsibility. And then
Which
Daniel
should
Clayton...
show how good of a guy that Cutter was and how much of a fighter he was. Because, I mean, he trained Lord Hood.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cutter... I mean, some of the promotional material said... and he would be a higher rank if he didn't care about his troops so much.
Yeah, it did. I remember that.
So, during the events of Escalations 5 and 6, so it seems Daniel Clayton's caught of what Lord Hood had been doing, so he kind of feels, because Daniel Clayton became a captain in the UNSC Navy, so he feels like his whole career has kind of been like a lie, kind of jumping to the extreme there, but I can kind of see where he's coming from. So what does the sensible Daniel Clayton do? He joins the new Colonial Alliance. He joins the new insurrectionist group. And he hires a Covenant mercenary group to try to kill Lord Hood.
Oh, heavens.
That was what Escalations 1 through 3 was about, was Arbiter Elvedum and Chieftain Lytus, the peace negotiations. Great story arc.
That weren't so peaceful. Just saying.
Actually had a Covenant space station. Daniel Clayton had a Covenant space station. Actually pierced through the hull plating of the Infinity, but Infinity tanked it, letting Palmer and Fireteam Majestic board the space station. And then Anthony Madsen knocked Clayton out because Paul DeMarco died during the Battle of Elend 4. So it was actually a very good character moment for Madsen, who got very little in Spartan Ops. Who just kind of had the spot of DeMarco's friend. He just kind of smiled. He made a joke. Which also kind of saves us from some bad publicity Spartan 4s get from other fans. Kind of being reckless, cocky.
Yeah.
That's because both the three Spartan 4s that kind of get that crap, Palmer, DeMarco, and Hoya, all three were ODSTs, which are known to be kind of cocky.
Yeah, I
So
mean
I like,
that came with the previous experience.
Hey, I
yeah.
like Palmer.
I like him too.
What made me like Palmer wasn't Spartan Ops, but escalation. Christopher Schler's interpretation of Palmer is much better than Brian Reed's. Now maybe Brian Reed can improve his Palmer in Halo 5. I hope so, because Brian Reed's a lead writer. And he wrote Escalations 8 through 10. No, actually he wrote 7 through 10. Escalation 7 was very good. Some of Brian Reed's best work. Even though it's just kind of a small personal issue for Thorne going back to New Phoenix, seeing his home and his composed grandmother's ashes. It's actually pretty dark. But it's a very good... Brian Reed shows off his talent in that issue. But issues 8 through 10 get a lot of crap. Kind of because John finally reunites with Blue Team, and it's kind of underwhelming. They immediately go back to Installation 03. Black Team gets raped by the Erdidact. Not really raped, but I mean, one gets decapitated by his bare hands.
Slow stroked.
Here.
So that's actually that makes with Team Black's death, that makes it there's only 5 active Spartan 2s left during the post-war, not counting the missing ones like Gray Team and Red Team.
That are kind of still floating out in the ether somewhere.
I have hope in Red Team, and I screw Gray Team. Actually, I don't like Gray Team.
How
That's
nice.
just from my bit with the Cold Protocol book. But I don't know. We'll see how Escalations 11 is, but I don't think Brad Reed's writing it. I believe it's written by some new guy, which hasn't written that much else.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
Let's see, it is written by Duffy Boudreau. Issue 11, which, oh man. I'm just going to do all the shipping for Gabriel Thorne and Nia Ray. Alex, you read at least some of Escalation. Do you remember Spartan Ray?
Was she the one that Lasky took with him on the mission to go find the reporter?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So this is very silly of me, but I really want Thorne and Ray to get together. Because obviously Lasky and Palmer have a thing, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And relationships are generally something Halo does not go into.
No,
For the most
not at all.
part. The only one I can really think, the only two, and there's been this parallel before, was Captain Jacob Keyes and Dr. Catherine Halsey. And that was what equals Miranda Keyes.
Don't forget about Buck and Dare.
That was Buck and Dare, but
That was implied. Not
that
really.
was it wasn't as big as a relationship because in a sense, well, we saw it in game actually, but I don't know. A valid point. I should count Buck and Dare, but the other relationship, the Erdidact and the Librarian.
Now that's a weird one.
I know it's actually because before Erdidact married the Librarian, there was a Promethean that he was going to marry, and Erdidact made the choice to marry the Librarian instead of her, to marry outside his rate, which was kind of a social taboo in Forerunner society.
Mhm.
Kind of like that Indian society, caste, kind of like that.
Right.
So, their relationship is very interesting and very tragic. What happens? But I mean, this start off with losing all 12 of their children. It adds a lot to the Erdidact's hatred, maybe. The hatred might be a little big of a word for humanity, since it was humans that killed their children.
Well,
Humans.
yeah, he wasn't a huge fan. The first time the humans came up and started causing trouble.
Yeah. But it was the Didact that also saved humanity, because everyone else was kind of, even the librarian was like, okay, guys, humans are messing up our shit. Let's kill them all.
They're kind of being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but it was the Erudite. It was like, guys,
well, that's what humans do.
Can we hurl them into a sun or something?
I don't know. I don't know. If you guys have not, read the Forerunner trilogy written by Greg Bear.
I really do want to read that.
I'm on the last book.
You're on oh my god, Silentium. Oh my god. It is easily the best Halo book.
I will say, I didn't like, what was the Primordium?
Yeah,
I didn't like.
See, Cryptum
I didn't
was
like
great.
Primordium as good as.
Primordium was really bad somehow. It's because it spent way too much time on Chakas / 343 Guilty
Yeah, you know.
just exploring Installation 07.
I preferred, the storyline with the Didact.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with Primordium. The ISO Didact doesn't show up until the very end. So he was that friggin' Chakas and his little girlfriend eating scorpions on Installation 07, occasionally running into Flood, but very far and in between. Like, the best parts are somewhere in the middle and then the very end.
Dude, I didn't even remember the Flood being in that book. That's how much I don't remember it.
Like I said, it was very far in between, because there was one part where Chakas finds, 7 proto-grave mines in one place.
Oh, jeez. I just remember reading it and getting lost at portions.
But I charged through it because I had rented, so I had to get through it to get to Silentium.
Right. Well, let's see. 343 also released a developer walkthrough of the Halo channel, which is basically going to be Halo Waypoint 2.0, but now with a lot more features. So when you're watching their original programming, such as Forward Unto Dawn or the upcoming Halo Nightfall, which releases November 11th along with the Master Chief Collection, you'll be able to pull up interactive story portions, which will give you a little more insight to the story. And I think they were showing a cool portion of when the Chief is in the cryopod in Forward Unto Dawn. They pulled it up and it actually listed the weapon that he had on hand. So it goes in depth with that, and you'll be able to unlock armor variants and things through that and stuff like that. So it'll be cool to see what they do. I guess you'll have some things in the Halo 5 multiplayer beta, which December 29th, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. December 29th, then it runs through January 19th, was it? Or?
Like that. So, he locks up with Halo channel for the Halo 5 Guardians beta, which will transfer over to the final game.
Yep.
Which I'm very happy about that, because I kind of wanted something. I want something from playing beta. I want something more than an emblem, looking at you, Destiny. And Reach.
I don't even know what emblem it was in Destiny.
It was like a little ship.
Oh, was it the ship?
Yeah,
okay.
It was like a ship. It wasn't that impressive, so...
See, I thought that was the one, but I didn't know. So,
what would have been cool, kind of off topic here, for an emblem, if you played the beta, was the class you played as using their super.
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, see, that would have been great emblem. It's kind of hard to make, but it would have I would have used that for sure.
Well, no. If you did play the Reach beta, you did get the hoodie for your avatar.
Yeah, you got that, but that's not something that great. I mean, that's something...
no, but it was cool.
Put this out here. I'm just going to make this up. Let's say you unlock special armor attachment. I'm not going to say... We don't know if there's attachments in Halo 5 Guardians or not. I'm just going to say this. You lock a special attachment, and it'll transfer over to the final game. That's so much more worthwhile than a little nameplate or a hoodie for your avatar.
Yeah, it is.
Or maybe like a cool weapon skin. Okay, just want to go to the bathroom again?
Yeah.
It's just the random noises that you can hear on this podcast, like dogs barking and various other things.
Dogs barking, squirrels swallowing. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Unless Terence fell asleep and like started eating his phone.
No, I mean, I was just eating my own, like my spirit was like falling out of my body, and I just had to catch it. So it was crazy.
All the daily going on. So GST.
Yeah. Coming along with this week's Master Chief Collection, they announced the final map remake for Halo 2 Anniversary, and that is going to be the remake of Halo 2's Warlock, which was actually a remake of Combat Evolved's Wizard, and this one is going to be called Warlord. And I typed up a nice little article on the website, which you can find, titled Wizard, Warlock, and Warlord, that just basically goes in to say, like, you know, out of the three, clearly I haven't played the Warlord yet, but, I mean, just from what I saw in the gameplay that I was kind of watching on it, I think that will be my favorite of the three variants, because right now it is Warlock from Halo 2. It just looked better, it sounded better, it played better, at least to me personally, than Wizard in Combat Evolved.
I'm going to add in. I think what helped for Warlord, at least for me, was for sure putting the Sentinel Beam in matchmaking.
Yes, and increasing the power.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how... I remember from Halo 3 custom games, the Sentinel Beam being pretty good for infection, but because it was never in matchmaking, I never really knew how it stood up against other weapons, really. Just because I never got the chance. Just because Slash rant on weapons being taken out of matchmaking, Halo 3. Or Furon Gun also. But it did get to manage to go into Reach matchmaking. But then the Sentinel Beam wasn't in Reach. But we did the Focus Rifle, and I like the Focus Rifle.
I hate the Focus Rifle.
You hate
Focus Rifle was an amazing harrying weapon. If you treated it like the beam rifle, you were going to have a bad day. It wasn't trying to be the beam rifle.
Yeah, I like the Focus Rifle. It was trying to be like a longer range Sentinel Beam, which I like. We finally got that in matchmaking.
The Focus Rifle and the concussion rifle were the two things in Halo Reach that were just there to annoy people in a like area of denial, harassing kind of way. Because if you're under fire by a focus rifle, you're not going to be able to fight back at anything. It just blows up your screen. You can't see anything. You're vibrating and freaking out. And concussion rifle, you're not moving. So,
yeah. Concussion rifle's great.
Oh, wait. I think I'm thinking of a... No. It wasn't concussion rifle.
The concussion rifle is legitimately kind of annoying.
Well, yeah, it's like a revenant shooting at you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The thing is, it doesn't actually do a lot of damage, like, per shot. Like, you'd feel like it's doing more, but it's really just shaking you around a lot.
Right.
Thing is, you can't fight back as long as you're being juggled by the concussion rifle.
I want to say that it takes 4 shots from a concussion rifle to kill somebody.
Direct shots, right?
Yeah, direct shots. 4 direct shots. It only has a magazine size of 6.
Yeah, so if you juggle them once or twice with it, you may not even actually kill them. Like, if you just like hit the wall or something instead of them, you may or may not actually kill them.
Right.
Well, speaking of concussion rifle, we have not yet seen the Brute Shot in Halo 2 Anniversary, which I want to know.
Or the Brute Fusion Rifle.
Are they gonna keep the behavior, you think, of the Halo 2 or the Halo 3 Brute Shot?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because I was thinking the same thing. I don't know, because in Halo 2, the Brute Shot only had a 4-round magazine, but it could kill in 3 shots, and it bounced around like a Furon Gun.
And I had so much fun. It had no timer.
Halo 3, it detonated upon impact, had a 6-round magazine, and killed in 4 shots. So pretty much the concussion rifle is kind of like a clone of the Halo 3 Brute Shot.
Basically, yeah. But with, like, infinitely more annoying, like, recoil and everything.
The Brute Shot had that nasty melee, which I liked.
Oh, it did. I loved how, and it was a subtle thing, Brute weapons and nobody really noticed this, Brute weapons did more melee damage.
They did.
Like, it was a very subtle thing, and it would really only affect you if you, like, kind of shot them a little bit far away with a mauler and needed that little tiny bit of extra, like, melee damage. because you like the brute shot, you really wouldn't notice it because you'd get them down to no shields anyway. And the spiker, you'd notice it if you didn't completely tear down their shields. It did do slightly more damage, so you can kill them with a little bit more shields than you would with a regular melee.
Did the spiker do more melee damage in Reach?
The spiker, probably. I imagine it would have kept that attribute. I don't recall using the spiker.
It was very, very rare in matchmaking, and even if you.
Well, it's kind of like the plasma rifle. Like, the plasma rifle was actually in matchmaking. It's like, you pick it up, it's like, what the hell is this? Like, this exists still? I can't dual wield it. Why would I use a plasma rifle right now?
Yeah, there's this poor plasma rifle and spiker. It's kind of.
Left to the wayside. Although, I'm a huge fan of the plasma repeater. I loved the plasma repeater. The cooldown on it was just so cool.
I like the plasma repeater more in the beta, because it was actually better in the beta.
Yeah.
That was, of course, back when the MA37 sucked butt. So they swapped roles in the final game. They switched. Now it was MA37 that was pretty decent, and the plasma repeater went from good to suck. But the plasma pistol remained actually okay.
The plasma pistol in Reach was the most violent plasma pistol out of all of them. It was actually decent.
Yeah, I'd compare the Reach plasma pistol to probably being, damage-wise, pretty comparable to that of Halo 1.
Oh yeah, no, it could actually kill things in matchmaking again, which was weird.
You can still kill people within Halo 4, it's just that the battery gets drained so quickly for balancing purposes, but it's still as lethal as the Reach version. And it's kind of because it seems so much more powerful because of Halo 2 and Halo 3, which pretty much Halo 2 plasma pistol is the lowest point of any weapon in gaming history.
Yeah.
It's got only one job, and you know what it is.
I was kind of sad about the plasma pistol in Halo 2.
I mean, it's a good thing they added the EMP ability in Halo 3. But by far, what would be completely terrifying would be Halo Combat Evolved's plasma pistol with an EMP ability. That would be terrifying.
Oh, how about that pro pipe in Reach, though?
I liked it. I sucked at it.
I liked it too.
I loved it. I a lot of times would miss horrifically, but I would never just tap it. I would always hold it because I found it so much more fun to have a grenade bounce around at them than just fire it like it was just semi-auto. Plus, so satisfying during the beta. Banshee flying overhead on Powerhouse, or no, it wasn't Powerhouse. It was
there's a Banshee on Powerhouse.
No, not Powerhouse. It was the only Boneyard. Yeah, it was Boneyard. There was a Banshee on Boneyard, and it was flying over, boosted at me. EMP flew off the cliff and just exploded. It was so good.
All right, well, I think that will wrap things up here for episode 9, which we kind of started Halo month a little early.
Proto Halo month.
So, yeah, I mean, of course you can find us, or visit our website, join our website, discuss things in the forums, like how terrible Transformers 4 was.
It just needed more dino.
It needed more explosions and less story. Anyway,
it needed to not exist.
That too. You can find all that at GameScoopThursdays.com. You can email questions, comments, and feedback, or tell us how wrong we are for not liking Transformers 4 over at feedback@GameScoopThursdays.com. If you experience problems with the site, you can either mention it in our up-and-coming support forum or email Jeremy over at support@GameScoopThursdays.com. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at GameScoopThurs, THURS. You can find us on Facebook because we do exist on there. And they, of course, find us on YouTube with our 700 channels that we have now.
It's 5.
So, with more to come.
Advertised too.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure for any of your Halo needs, you go to halopedia.org, where I'm an admin. Hardworking team here. Don't go to Halo Nation. Halo Nation they try their best, but their best is just not that great. Sorry, Halo Nation.
And visit the once prominent Elitepedia with an extra A.
Elitepedia. Oh man, those are the days.
Pie Wars and stuff. Jeez, I was just thinking about all that the other day. Story for another time. Halo month. We'll save that for the actual November content. Gosh.
Oh man.
Good times. Anybody else have any plugin shout-outs that they want to mention?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah,
well then, this has been the conclusion to episode 9. Stay tuned for the most likely what will be little post-show that will, feature just some stuff that we weren't able to cover here, like stuff that's released either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and we will see you all next Thursday with episode 10. So, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Hello everyone and welcome to the post-show for episode 9 of GameScoop Thursdays. What we saw this week was the release of some Halo 2 Anniversary soundtrack samples, which featured the full-length Gungeoneer mix, which is the reamped Halo 2 theme. It also featured 5 different samples of the tracks. We also saw some Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 multiplayer and campaign videos shot at 1080p and 60 frames per second, and they were really cool to see, so we're very much looking forward to that on November 11th. Borderlands the pre-sequel was released on Tuesday, and that is so far receiving some good marks from people. Terence Thompson announced his very own show, Reviewmedies, which is a review and a comedy, and that's going to be coming to you on October 28th. And we also would like to wish Terence a quick recovery, as he was recovering from surgery on his shoulder from the Destiny playing injury. And on that note, we also wish Joe Camarillo a speedy recovery as well. So we will see you next week with episode 10.